LiberalViewer presents.
So I want to show a few quick clips on controversy over this movie, American Sniper. I don't really feel that qualified to talk about it because I haven't seen the movie. Hopefully I'll get to see the movie sometime soon, but I have seen a lot of coverage of the controversy as to whether the American Sniper portrayed in the movie, whether he's a hero or whether he is symptomatic of the wrongness of American policy in Iraq. And there was actually a tweet from Michael Moore that this will show up later in a discussion over on CNN State of the Union. But here's a screen capture from CNN State of the Union from Michael Moore tweeted, "My uncle killed by sniper in World War II. We were taught snipers were cowards. We'll shoot you in the back. Snipers aren't heroes and invaders are worse." And I actually, when I heard about this controversy, I kind of flashed back to the movie Inglourious Bastards, which I heard Seth Rogen had tweeted or in some way commented on, where this movie American Sniper kind of is reminiscent of the propaganda movie the Nazis make at the last third of the movie Inglourious Bastards, about that sniper in the clock tower who kills all these Allied soldiers and is a big hero. And it's kind of weird that we have our own version of that. But like I said, I haven't seen the movie, and apparently, according to a lot of people, it does show it's not really a pro-war movie. It shows the costs of war and the costs on the family, and it's kind of a more balanced approach, or I don't know. But then I've also heard some negative things about this guy Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, especially in terms of his lawsuit with Jesse Ventura. From what I understand, Jesse Ventura is winning that lawsuit that Chris Kyle said some defamatory things about Jesse Ventura, and I don't really know all the facts of that. But first I want to show some quotes from Chris Kyle that Bill Maher talked about over on HBO's Real Time, where I guess at least he did call the American Sniper Chris Kyle a patriot, but I think he called him a psychopathic patriot or something like that over in this clip.
Deflategate, which is American Sniper. It made $105 million over the box office. This is unheard of in January. That's what superheroes usually make, superhero movies make. I'm not surprised. Clint Eastwood's a great filmmaker. But somehow the Twitter war broke out, and now we have to take sides, whether the American Sniper is a real hero or not. Now, I said last week we had Catherine Bigelow on, who had made Hurt Locker. And I said it kind of goes over a lot of the same territory. Hurt Locker made $17 million because it was a little ambiguous and thoughtful. And this one is just American hero. He's a psychopath patriot, and we love him. You know, I read some of the quotes from the real Chris Kyle. He said, "I hate the damn savages," talking about the Iraqis, "and I've been fighting and I always will. I love killing bad guys. Even with the pain, I loved what I was doing. Maybe war isn't really fun, but I certainly was enjoying it." I don't know. Eisenhower once said, "I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can." I just don't see this guy in the same league as Eisenhower. I'm sorry. And if you're a Christian, I know this is a Christian country, I hate the damn savages, and I don't give a fuck what happens. That doesn't seem like a Christian thing to say.
You know, it's a very interesting point. There's a lot of anger in this country, and the people who go see this movie are people who are very angry. And this guy basically says, "I'm going to fight on your side," and they bite for it. I think there's some. I bet you if you looked at a cross section of the Tea Party and people who go to see this movie, there's a lot of intersection.
So that's kind of the more left-wing take, I guess, or more the left wing of the Democratic Party, I guess, or some people call it the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party, with Howard Dean being one of the more progressive voices in the Democratic Party. And Bill Maher, I don't even know, I guess he did give all that money to Barack Obama's campaign, so he is a Democrat in that sense, but he's also kind of more to the left, except on a few things. But over on CNN State of the Union, it was kind of interesting. They had on two members of Congress. Ruben Gallego is actually a Democrat, and then Adam Kinzinger is the Republican, but they're both Iraq War vets, and they were bipartisan in their praise of snipers and praise of the American sniper, this guy Chris Kyle. And first I'm going to show where Michael Smerconish brings up the controversy, and Adam Kinzinger kind of brings it into the whole Michael Moore thing about them being cowards, the Michael Moore tweet. But we don't quite get to that tweet yet. But here's the first clip from CNN's State of the Union. Michael Smerconish and Adam Kinzinger in this clip.
Congressman Kinzinger, this movie has also sparked a conversation about the role of snipers. How do non-snipers in the military regard their brethren who are snipers? How do they view that role?
They're amazing. You know, for years I've worn the name of Christopher Horton, who was killed in Pakistan, Afghanistan, was a sniper. I've worn his name. They're fantastic people. I mean, keep in mind, so everybody that says, you know, when you hear somebody say that snipers are cowards, they're hiding behind, well, here's one that wasn't. Here's one that was killed. They all are brave men and women that have done a lot of hard work. So, look, they're the overlords. They're the folks protecting us. They're the folks that are protecting the guys on the ground from threats they don't see. It's essential. And for anybody that would attack a man or a woman in the military for the job they do, I mean, you see it in the movie, you know, where Chris has to do some things and he's not celebrating it. It obviously bothers him and it really gets to him, but he knows that he has to do that to save the lives of his brothers and sisters.
So that's, like I said, kind of expected. The Republican, Adam Kinzinger, and Iraq war vet taking the side of the American sniper and against Michael Moore. He kind of brought up Michael Moore. And then in the continuation of that clip, Michael Smerconish actually brings up the Michael Moore tweet and takes over to the Democrat, Ruben Gallego, who, like I said, is in bipartisan agreement in favor of snipers and calling them heroes. And then it gets back to, in the same clip I'm about to show, Representative Adam Kinzinger really gets negative on Michael Moore. And unlike, you know, I said I wouldn't talk about American Sniper because I haven't seen it, he talks about one of Michael Moore's movies really negatively, and then says he wouldn't see it. So apparently, I guess he hasn't seen it. And anyway, I'll talk about that a little more after you see that clip over here.
Of his brothers and sisters.
You're making reference, obviously, to Michael Moore, who sent an email to State of the Union. And to be fair to him, in part, the email said, I said nothing of the film and certainly nothing about Chris Kyle in the message that I sent out. He also says this: there are only two movies about the Iraq War that have grossed over $100 million, mine and Clint's. Now, that would be an interesting discussion to have. Want to add anything to the discussion on snipers?
Yes, you know, snipers are a totally different breed of man. I got to serve with a lot of snipers, and we unfortunately lost a lot of snipers. And I got to pull security for them once in a while, and they're just warriors. They're great warriors, and they're just a totally different breed of military person. And I think, you know, people that are in the infantry combat arms will understand that. You know, they're awesome. They're great to have, but you know, they're entirely different from the door kickers like myself and a bunch of other guys. But they're great to have in combat with you.
Can I say something real quick about
Please.
Michael Moore?
Yeah.
Your movie is no comparison to American Sniper. I would never see Michael Moore's movie. An American Sniper talks about American heroism and heroes, and we all know his tweet was referring to this movie. Even if he says I didn't have the name in there, maybe it was just randomly something else. We're not that stupid.
Can I, Chris Kyle?
So yeah, I guess Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger isn't a Michael Moore fan. That is pretty clear from that last clip. So let me know what you think. Why is this dramatization of one person's story creating such controversy while having such success at the box office? And for those, unlike me, who have read the book or seen the movie, was American Sniper Chris Kyle a hero, a coward, or something in between?
YouTube, you decide.